What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on ESPN with a 10-team full PPR mock where we will be selecting 9th overall. Should be interesting as always. And while we wait for this draft to begin, quick reminder, if you guys enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter, X at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear it in the comments, questions. We'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let us turn our attention to the draft. It is about to begin here. And hopefully we'll see a pretty accurate representation of these picks. We've got, for the most part, a full lobby. And, we have a realistic start to this draft with Bijan Robinson being selected first overall. If you want to go with the running back, from what I have seen, it is typically either a Bijan or a Saquon Barkley. And then if you want to go wide receiver, I've seen Jamar Chase. I've even sometimes seen Justin Jefferson. But, 99 times out of 100, if it's a wide receiver, it's Jamar Chase. Saquon Barkley was the third player, then Justin Jefferson. So 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers being taken in the first 4 picks. With pick 9, I don't expect too many crazy things from occurring. I imagine we'll have our choice of like a Malik Neighbors, a Amon-Ra, an Achane, a Nico Collins, a Derrick Henry, that group of players. Because the former 3 picks have been CeeDee Lamb, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Puka Nacua pretty much exactly per the, best available players on the board. Christian McCaffrey just got selected 8th overall. I'm glad he's off the board because now I don't have to go back and forth if I'm going to draft him or not. So, that is behind us. Here, I really like Achane at this point in time. I think that, grabbing him at this 9th spot, or really anywhere towards the end of the first round. Now, granted, it is a 10-team league, is still very good value. So I'm going to draft Achane, and I'm not going to sweat it all too much. Derrick Henry was also drafted, a huge run on running backs, by the way. The last 4 picks, McCaffrey, Achane, Gentry, Derrick Henry. Again, Henry was going to be a guy that was tempting for me there, but I don't have to sweat it anymore. Now I'm looking at Amon-Ra, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins. I think all of them are very, very good options. I'm going to go with one of my draft crushes in Malik Neighbors. I think he's got the upgrade at the quarterback position. I'm not really worried about his toe issue. He's had that for, since his college days, as they say. Malik Neighbors, I decided to go with him instead of Amon-Ra, instead of Nico Collins. They were all right there for me, though. I think we are in a good situation. We really can't go wrong with either one of those guys. And, I do typically like to go a little bit balanced when I'm selecting at the end of, these extremes, the first round. So I went running back. I went with the wide receiver as well. If somebody really, really crazy had dropped, like I said, if McCaffrey was still there, and then Achane and Derrick Henry were options in the second, I definitely would have thought about it. But, I just went best player available, and I went with a balanced start. Let's look at the big board, though. So, again, just to recap what has taken place so far, Bijan, Jamar Chase, Saquon, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Jahmyr Gibbs, Puka Nacua, McCaffrey, Achane, Gentry, nothing crazy there. Derrick Henry with the first pick in the second. We went with Malik Neighbors, then Jonathan Taylor. Well, maybe the crazy thing is that Amon-Ra St. Brown dropped to the 4th pick in the second, and Nico Collins dropped to the 6th pick in the second. Tremendous value there. Josh Jacobs then was the 5th pick. Bucky Irving afterwards. Brian Thomas also drops. Good value. Kyron Williams, then A.J. Brown. So right now I'm looking at values. Drake London's getting a little bit disrespected, in my opinion, on ESPN. So depending on where he goes, he's going to go at the start of the second round. What am I saying? Or the third round, excuse me. There's no way he makes it to us. Trey McBride would be tempting, but again, I don't think he's going to make it to us. I think we're going to be looking at again, fingers crossed. Chase Brown at the end of the third round, I would be very, very happy with that. Maybe we get real bold and we go with the Josh Allen as a quarterback. So I think we'll have options here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, Trey McBride being selected here with the 4th pick in the 3rd round. So we're not going to be going tight end early. That is fine. Josh Allen also got selected with the 3rd pick in the 3rd round. So again, not going to be looking at quarterback. Drake London made it all the way to the 5th pick in the 3rd round. Man, talk about a trio of wide receivers. This guy got CD, Nico, and Drake London. But I mean, yeah, he just let the draft come to him. And tremendous trio right there. I really like it. So that's good. I'm assuming that Chase Brown is going to get sniped from us. Well, actually, no. I stand corrected. Chase Brown makes it to us. And, I mean, this is a really, really easy selection for me. So we nab Chase Brown. We have Achane. Chase Brown might be my favorite pick in the 3rd round in regards to, like, late 3rd round if he's there. I think you can argue, between a top, like, between 5th and 10th overall type of running back in full PPR in regards to upside. If Ladd McConkey is there, he probably would be a target for me, even though I really, really like Marvin Harrison Jr. as well. Maybe we just kind of play the game of where does Marvin Harrison go? So let's go with Ladd McConkey. I haven't had too much Ladd McConkey stock yet. I think, again, I'm taking advantage of the value at this point in time. Tyreek Hill, you got age question marks. You got production from last year question marks. Terry McLaurin, there's rumors about is he going to be even in Washington? So let's go with McConkey. And, again, I really, really like Marvin Harrison, but I decided to go elsewhere. I think Garrett Wilson is ranked way too low here on ESPN, 45th overall wide receiver. I mean, upside-wise, he's got a ton of upside. Alvin Kamara also ranked relatively low. So if we can get him somehow in the 5th round, at the end of the 5th round, I think that would be insane. But I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't think there's any reason why Omarion Hampton should be getting selected ahead of Alvin Kamara in full PPR. Like, again, the Chargers specifically got Najee Harris. Unless Harris gets hurt, like best case scenario, I think you're looking at a 50-50 split at the start of the season. So that's why that situation scares me. Debo now could potentially turn into a good value in Washington, depending what happens with McLaurin. Jalen Hurts makes it to the middle of the 4th round. So far, I would say a pretty solid draft. Ooh, and there goes one of my draft crushes in Marvin Harrison. I didn't expect him to last long. Maybe this guy's a Cardinals fan. He got Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison. It's a little bit ballsy. I mean, if the Cardinals have a bad game offensively, you're donezo. Joe Mixon, then Rashee Rice. So right now, again, I continue to say it. Garrett Wilson, Alvin Kamara, all looking like really good values. DK Metcalf is ranked way too low, especially with Aaron Rodgers now there. I was wondering if Joe Burrow might make it to us. He doesn't. He gets selected with the 10th pick in the 4th round. And there goes Alvin Kamara. So two good value picks, all things considered. Garrett Wilson might not make it to us either. So, but I think we're in a good spot either way to go ahead and continue to build a solid foundation. I think right now we just have an extremely balanced roster. You could argue that each of our running backs and each of our wide receivers have upside to finish as top 10 guys. I look at some of these other teams, while they've also made good picks, I don't know if I can necessarily say that for their squads. Maybe with the exception of like this first squad over here that got Bijan, AJ Brown, Bowers, Burrow, and Alvin Kamara. So yeah, I really like that draft for what it's worth. Breece Hall, Tyreek Hill lasts all the way until the 5th round. Boy, oh boy, how things change year to year. But again, when you get burned that bad, when you got the age factor, JSN lasting that far as well, I think is also a crime. And there goes Garrett Wilson. So we're not going to get JSN or Wilson. I didn't really expect we would. So it is what it is. Terry McLaurin's still on the board. Maybe people are kind of avoiding him given some of that news coming out of camp that he's a little bit unhappy. DJ Moore, I think there's too many mouths to feed in Chicago. I wouldn't be surprised if Odunze ends up being the number one wide receiver in Chicago. So that's something to think about. Quinshon Judkins just got selected. Oh my God, I swear to God, no matter what we do, we can never land RJ Harvey. Whatever, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to get DK Metcalf here. I think DK Metcalf at this point in time is a really, really good value. So let's scoop him up. Him and Aaron Rodgers. Feel really good about having him as my flex player. And then I think I'd probably go with another running back, depending on what happens with the next two picks. Maybe either a Hubbard or a James Conner, because this guy already has two running backs. Probably going to be targeting two wide receivers. Again, another reason why I went with DK Metcalf. We could go with a Sam Laporta, but I think Chuba Hubbard here, honestly, is a really good value pick. Like getting three running backs with pretty high upside. Like I look at James Conner, I look at Chuba Hubbard. I just think there's a higher chance that maybe something happens injury-wise with Conner. So I'm going to go with Chuba Hubbard. I know the Panthers have added some running backs, but, they believe in Hubbard. Sam Laporta just went, so yes, I know what passing up on or what selecting Hubbard meant. It meant passing up on getting, the Hawkinson and or Laporta type of tight end. It is a 10-team league, so those positional advantages do mean a little bit more. But hey, it's also important to have a strong bench and not just be top heavy. And I don't think we're just top heavy. Again, I think we have some serious depth at the two most important positions, running back and wide receiver. If there's injuries, we've got plug and play guys that I don't have to worry about. So Hubbard could easily be a flex play for us. So I really, really like the start to this draft. If this was the real deal for me, I would be ecstatic. So let's see what has taken place since our Chuba Hubbard selection. Sam Laporta, James Conner, Travis Hunter. Ooh, I hate that pick. I think that's way too early for him. How he got selected before Mike Evans, before Courtland Sutton, that is bananas. But hey, people fall in love with rookies sometimes. Also, Mike Evans going at the end of the 6th round, pretty crazy. Courtland Sutton, then with the second to last pick. I'm looking at players right now that I would be targeting. So names that stick out, obviously, TJ Hawkinson is there. Jameson Williams maybe is like a home run hitter. I just think, a little bit too up and down worries me a tad. If we're looking at quarterbacks, Mahomes, the last 2 years of Mahomes has been ugly. Do you trust Patrick Mahomes, as crazy as that sounds? Now, obviously, we're talking about it from a fantasy perspective and not real-life NFL perspective. But, guys like, Travis Kelce ain't getting any younger. The wide receiver room, like even when Rashee Rice was healthy, it's not like Mahomes was putting up elite fantasy numbers. So it makes sense why people are avoiding him. Looking at the big board, again, huge run on wide receivers with the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks, all wide receivers in the order of Mike Evans, Courtland Sutton, Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers, Tedero McMillan. Also, I would be taking Tedero McMillan ahead of Travis Hunter. That's just me. Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, Caleb Johnson, Juwan Jennings. If this guy has a tight end, oh my gosh. TJ Hawkinson made it all the way back to us. That is insane. Yeah, that's going to be our pick for sure. I think it has to be. Yeah, I do like David Njoku, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews. They're like big names, but they worry me. The age worries me. With Andrews, I don't think it's going to be a super pass-heavy offense. So let's look at all positions here. Yeah, Jameson Williams is still there. you could take a chance, high upside type of guy, had a little bit of a breakout last year. Why not? Why not take a chance on Jameson Williams? Rome Odunze also still there. I've just drafted a lot of Rome Odunze, so I decided, hey, let's shake it up a little bit. Let's show some love to Jameson Williams. I think that's way too late, but I'm going to just continue to load up on value and depth. So that's the logic. Chris Godwin also ranked super low, 91. Like, I know he's coming off an injury, but that's been the case the last couple of years, and he's produced, full PPR. I'm not worried about the rookie takeover just yet. So, yeah, I think here we select like a quarterback and then another player, and we're in a good spot because I think we're going to start getting to kickers and defenses being selected with some of these auto picks. And then we kind of wrap this thing up. But, man, I love this. Like, on paper, this squad is really good. We got very lucky with value picks. So, man, this is, I mean, hand up, again, it's a 10-team league. There's a much higher chance that good players drop, things like that. But this is my favorite mock draft that I've done probably period all off season long. So heck yeah, right? We've got 7 more picks until our selection. Right now, if I had to look at the names, let's see if I'm missing anything at running back. Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler aren't bad here. I would give the edge to Brian Robinson. That's just me. Wide receiver, I pointed out Godwin before. I think that's a good value pick. Olave, again, do you trust the head injury situation? Bo Nix just got picked. So I was probably going to lean Bo Nix at quarterback. Let's see now. We could get Kyler Murray. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we get Kyler Murray. So I might just do that. Let's see here. Do these guys have quarterbacks? Chris Godwin just went. Yeah, this guy has a quarterback, so I can just take another player and then finish it off with Kyler Murray. Jacoby Myers is there. I kind of like Brian Robinson. Let's select Brian Robinson here and then go Kyler Murray and wrap this thing up. Yeah, Jacoby Myers is also tempting. Honestly, you could make the case that we should just wait for Kyler Murray since, again, it's a 10-team league. The majority of people already have quarterbacks. But again, for the sake of kind of wrapping up this roster, we are going to select Kyler Murray here so you can kind of see a full look at the squad. Murray, Achane, Chase Brown, Neighbors, McConkey, Hawk, Metcalf, Hubbard, Williams, Brian Robinson on the bench. Let me know your thoughts. If you guys like the squad, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter, X @AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.